Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts are meant to give everyone a voice, a chance to speak with others who are passionate advocates for expanding the blockchain's use cases out into the world and beyond. Do you have a crypto community you would like to represent and hold open hangouts for? If so, you might find yourself on the path to owning a stake in Beyond Bitcoin. We are looking for people who care about people who want to bring others together, because crypto communities are people. Beyond Bitcoin is a movement of thinkers and doers in the crypto space. And if you feel you are one of them, reach out to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com for more information on how to debut your community's efforts to reach to the stars and beyond.
Welcome everyone to another Beyond Bitcoin Hangout. Today is Friday, April 28, 2007, and this is episode 204. Thank you for everybody who has been listening from day one to starting out last week. We thrive off of listening to the guest speakers who join up and provide accountability, answer questions from the community about their own projects, and provide updates on what they do every week. We really care about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, and I think at its roots, our community really loves disruptive technology in a lot of ways. But we also try to enable people to have a voice in a time when having a voice is becoming more and more difficult. Now, with that said, every week, if you would like to be a guest speaker on Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts, you can join our RSVP threads on steemit.com under the Beyond Bitcoin tag. You then fill out the template that is provided at the end of the document, and that is going to be called the RSVP. Utilize the people who you know, who you trust, invite them to join Steemit if they haven't already. Ask people who trust you in the ecosystem to upvote you and show support for your project. If they trust you and they upvote you, they show the community that people trust them. And what we want to enable is a community that can kind of self-reinforce trust. Now, with that said, we have had 5 different projects that have RSVP'd this week. Number 1 is going to be Good Karma, followed by Virtual Growth, then Purity, and Teleguy is going to join and talk about coin reputation and rank. And then we're going to cap it off with PeerPlays project updates. Now, with that said, Good Karma, are you available?
Yes, I am.
What do you have on the agenda for today?
First of all, I want to thank everyone and welcome everyone who is new. And I think PeerPlays was the first one today.
Are you? The last time I saw it, you were at the end. When did? Man, you must have had data. Hold on. Did you have somebody vote big right before the hangout, like during the BitShares hangout?
Yeah, I think PeerPlays can go first, and then I can talk about updates.
That's fine. Sly dogs. I gotta. You keep me on my toes, Data. I can go ahead and edit it out to make it fine. Go ahead. Data and Crypto Prometheus are here today, and they're going to be talking about PeerPlays and giving some updates. So, Data and Crypto, are you guys there?
Well, I'm here. I think Jonathan is here. Oh, here he is.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that.
No problem. So you guys have an agenda for today, I'm sure. So I'll go ahead and I'll step back and let you guys take your spots and start with the updates and whatever else you guys wanted to get into.
Thank you very much, Fuzzy. My name is Jonathan Bahai. I am the president of the PeerPlays Blockchain Standards Association. It is the nonprofit association which is heading up the PeerPlays project and supporting it. It is April 28th, 2017, and as many of you know, this past week we have launched a brand new website that has lots of exciting features. We spoke about it this week. Everybody loves the new design and, of course, the much easier way to be able to contribute to the crowdfund. We now don't just accept Bitcoin, we also accept Ether, Dash, Litecoin, Doggy, BTS, Steem, and we also accept Steam-backed dollars, BitUSD, BitCNY, and BitEuro. So anybody who has various currencies has lots of options in regards to how they can contribute to the PeerPlays project now. Since we have launched this new format, we've had a tremendous response. It's almost like suddenly the floodgates opened and everybody just was waiting for this to be able to get into the project. So if you go to the PeerPlays.com site now, you'll see the new design. You'll see that we have published a roadmap, and you'll see some of the more exciting things in regards to that roadmap that details things like PeerPlays 8, Bookie, and PeerPlays Core Wallet, along with the other app, which is leaving my mind right now. Oh gosh. So
Eight.
what was that?
I think it was called 8.
Yes, there's PeerPlays 8. What I was thinking of though was Sweeps, which is the PeerPlays version of Lotto, basically. Sweeps app is a very exciting app. A lot of people are looking forward to that because, as you know, the PeerPlays project and its applications that we're starting with are designed towards mass adoption and really target production-ready type industries, which are really needing solutions that PeerPlays brings to it. If you follow our Twitter at PeerPlays, you'll see that there's every once in a while there's another story that's breaking that tells about some kind of other gaming organization or company that has somehow cheated its players out of millions and millions of dollars in using their platform. And of course, PeerPlays is here to provide provable fair and change all that. So yeah, the new site has been launched, which is really exciting. Today, we also launched a new update in regards to witnesses. This is something that everybody has been asking about for quite a while now, and we have published all the details in regards to the documentation. I'll post the link after this update, but if you go to peerplays.com/news, you'll see the first article there, and of course it has a video made by our own Robin, who has done a beautiful job in regards to presenting what it takes to be a witness and what we're looking for. So I highly recommend that everybody share this content as much as possible around the cryptoverse, and everybody set up so that they can be possibly one of the PeerPlays witnesses when we launch the blockchain, which is coming up on May 30th. In regards to when the testnet is going to go live, we are going to be publishing the code sometime between May 14th and May 15th. So up to the launch of the live blockchain, there's going to be a 2-week period where people who potentially could become the live PeerPlays witnesses will be able to participate in a live testnet. So up until that time, everybody should be getting their witness hats on, campaigning, getting known in the PeerPlays community if they have any hope of actually getting voted as a PeerPlays witness. Once you get into the documentation, you will see that we have some really exciting stuff coming. Part of the documentation also includes information for exchanges. So now that we have all of this prepared, we are currently talking to some exchanges right now about hosting PPY and having it available on their exchanges. Some of the exchanges we are talking to are even beyond who currently host BitShares and Steem type blockchains. So we are expanding the space in terms of what Graphene has to offer and being able to get into other markets. So that is very exciting. We will be providing more information on that at a later date as it becomes confirmed. And what other information do I have here? And also, later today, we will be releasing more information regarding Bookie. So we provided a whole new website that specifically provides tons of information in regards to very first decentralized sports betting exchange. This is very exciting because it is worldwide. It has no barriers. It is completely controlled by the decentralized autonomous co-op, which is PeerPlays. And everybody who is a PPY token holder is going to be able to take part in the use of the sports betting application worldwide. So this means that every single bet that's taking place, you'll be able to get a profit share in. So that is certainly world changing because traditionally it's always been some company that's just taken all your money. And today, thanks to the PeerPlays blockchain, you can actually be a part of that. So very, very exciting news there too. So that's pretty much the general overview of everything that's going on. We have various interviews which we are lining over the course of the next 2 weeks. We have lots of more content that's going to be coming out, and yeah, I think that's that I've covered the main points. So with that, we do have we have Michael here with us today, who will be able to go into more detail on some things, possibly answer some questions. He's in a bit of a windy area, so please excuse any kind of wind you might hear. But other than that, I'm very appreciative of everybody who's supporting the project. If you have not yet done it yet, go to @PeerPlays in Telegram and join our PeerPlays group. It's a very active place where you got every day now we're averaging about 200 to 300 messages a day. So come and join in the discussion, learn more about PeerPlays, and become a part of the gaming revolution. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great day.
And really quick, t.me/PeerPlays, just as you would consider it spelled. Now, with that said, thank you, Data. And Crypto Prometheus is here today as well. Do you have anything that you would like to add on to that?
Hi, Fuzzy. Thanks. Yeah, this is Michael Maloney here. I'm the Director of Intelligence at the PBSA. And, you know, to be completely honest, Jonathan did a great job covering both what he wanted to say and also what I wanted to say. A lot of really activity happening now. Obviously, we're getting close to the launch of the blockchain. We've got the last few weeks of our public crowd sale that's happening right now. Getting the witnesses on board and spun up on how to work the software is one of our top priorities for the next couple weeks. And we have a really awesome new website that'll be coming out, a second website, particularly pertaining to the bookie application. So I think we're going to have that live this afternoon or maybe later this weekend. So that's really all I have, and I didn't want to take up too much more of the time because we're right about at the limit here. So if anybody, I guess, has any questions, I can answer maybe one or two if we have time for that.
Sure, we have, I think we can put down about 3 minutes for it. I have questions, but let's open it up to the floor first.
Okay, so Taconator's asking, can I discuss setting an event? Sure, yeah, go ahead and you mind, settling. Okay, I'm sorry. Sure. Yeah, the settling of an event, both the creation and the settlement of events will be done by the witnesses themselves. This isn't something that we have anything to publish or show you the details on yet, because it's still being developed, and it won't be released until, as you've seen on our website, later this summer or into the fall. However, the process is basically the witnesses create the events by consensus. So the witnesses have to agree. I don't know. We got different thresholds. So anything higher than 50% plus one, probably going to recommend 70 to 80% threshold, because there should be good consensus there on what events should be created. And then the settlement is simply data that's published by the witnesses that they scrape from various sports data APIs, and they take the median of that, and then the blockchain looks at that data and settles the in whichever direction is indicated by the data that's published. Okay, I guess I answered it correctly. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. That was a great question. And I think there's going to be a whole lot more coming here in terms of the sporting application. There's things that we're building right now I believe that have implications that are only going to be known down the road. What I mean by that is that there's a lot of complexity to putting together any sort of decentralized exchange. We all have the one that BitShares uses right now. This one is entirely different and built from the ground up, but using the same technology. And there's a lot of unique challenges having to do with the fact that you're not actually trading assets, you're trading, bets essentially, and you are the bet settlement, and the activity that's required from as oracles is definitely a new something brand new in the blockchain space that I don't think anyone has seen fully played out, and its implications are pretty significant. Because this is also only one example of something that can be done with using witnesses as oracles. So moving forward, it's going to require a lot of participation, and of course, being a witness is a paid position. I've talked about this before, that it's definitely going to be our recommendation that the blockchain advisory committee set the witness pay at a very decent rate so that we attract the right people. You don't attract good workers if you're not going to pay them well. So I think that's really, really important. I think it does way more good than harm. Whatever small, negligible amount of additional quote unquote dilution or additional, tokens that are being moved from the reserve fund in order to pay the witnesses a little more. I think that will have consequences that will be far more beneficial than harmful. And the same principle applies in any business. Employees are going to be much happier. They're going to work harder and get along better if everyone's paid a decent wage. So I think that's we're going to set. All the blockchain parameters will be released. Our initial recommendations when the blockchain launches. However, many parameters can be tweaked through the advisor, system that's set up on Graphene. So there are ways in which, as the blockchain grows and as people use the applications, there's ways to adjust things on the fly, which makes it very, very versatile and adaptable, which is a very positive thing. So, okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for your questions. And I will see. I'll give our website information one more time. We've got the PeerPlays main website, which is peerplays.com, and then we have a news site, which is all our news and updates, which is peerplays.com/news. Okay, I've been told I can't give you guys the URL for the sports betting web because we're still putting together the last few pieces of it. So go to peerplays.com by the end of this weekend or early next week, and you'll have a link there to all the information about the sports betting exchange. So, and yeah, that's all I got. Unless you have anything else, Fuzzy.
I'll say that from my experience, and of course you can tell everybody if I'm wrong, I would say it's probably safe to say that they could also meet up with you guys for a short period of time every week here in the Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts to ask questions whenever you guys are giving your updates.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, we're here, Jonathan or myself, and many times both of us are here every Friday morning. So this is the chance to ask questions in person, and we always do our best to give you as much information as we can.
Now, I just want to, say thank you first off to Data, to Crypto Prometheus, and I want to thank all of you guys. And I also want to say how much I appreciate that we can do this, because in this ecosystem, everybody knows that scams are a dime a dozen. Maybe we shouldn't call them scams, but if it loses people money who go into it thinking one thing and then come out thinking the other, some might call it free market, do your research, crazy man. But that doesn't really get us mass adoption for grandma either. Trust gets us where we're going. We like to talk about how these are trustless systems, but we trust the contract. We still have trust. It's just put in a different place that is more auditable and generally more transparent and more accountable. So those who join here tend to have that philosophy behind how they run and talk about their project. So I would urge everybody to share this content if you feel that these messages and this philosophy in the crypto space resonates with you, because this supports them. And I want to say, consider these people as the gold that they are, because they kind of self-identify by being here to answer these questions. Now, with that said, we're going to be looking at Good Karma up next. Good Karma, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, it's good to hear from you, man. It seems like you've got some updates for us today, so I'll go ahead and I'll step back and let you cover your agenda.
Thank you, Ozzy. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the eSteem project updates. It has been a while. I think it was 2 weeks ago I joined last time. And since then we made 2 more updates on mobile app. And there was changes on Steam as well, where we had a hard fork. Recent hard fork changed quite a lot of things. And eSteem had to adapt some of the new changes. So since then we made 2 releases, and some of them, I mean, the changes were to support the comments. For example, from hard fork, recent hard fork, there was a comment limiting was removed. Before we had you can nest 4 comments deep, and after that there was a limitation on a blockchain level. So after hard fork it was removed. Now there is you can make I think it is 255 in deep comments, so sessions can continue, and you can comment and go as deep as possible. So but our app wasn't supporting that well, because on a device you have a smaller screen, and if you nest 255 comments, it doesn't fit on your screen. So we made some changes to give support to that, and now after 5 comments deep, you can open up the next parenting the comment, and you can continue reading the discussion and contribute your part in it. And we also made changes in the languages. Language update is going great, and we made few additional new languages. Overall, I think we have 22 languages, and it's growing, and community is helping and improving the languages. And with each update, we update the eSteem app. We add new phrases, and community helping to keep up with the translation and growing. So we have around 60 people joined translation, and already more than 30 languages progress, and each language at least have two person who is contributing to improve languages. So that's just great, and I want to thank all of them. And we also try to reward them by making language updates, and call for more contributors, and reward them by sending the post rewards from Steam. And another changes were with recent hard fork, we also had the beneficiaries, where you can now include beneficiary in every post made from your app. So that these changes were made so that any app developers on Steam could potentially bring their own, implement their own application, and get reward for that. And this feature we were asking for a long time, and we were as a third party developers were expecting and hoping, so that we can incentivize and long-term have a long-term revenue model for application. So this feature actually opened up a lot of possibilities for us. So right now, from last version of eSteem mobile, now we have a beneficiary, which is eSteem app, and it gets 1% of the reward. This is just to see as an initial trial. We will see 30 days and see how the app coming, and what are the future revenue models, and how we can plan future and long-term development of the app. And I hope we will see Steemit also having some sort of beneficiary so that it can kind of bootstrap the competitive mood. We have a few applications, busy.org, steemit.com, and eSteem, and some other projects also working on it, Steepshot. So it would be great if steemit.com had some percentage or some beneficiary so that it could bootstrap or help other applications to compete with each other in terms of the percentage reward. It also helps to maintain development and plan for the longer term. And another changes were, since the recent hard fork, we had another change where you should manually claim your rewards from the comments and from posts you make. So this feature was introduced on Steam so that instead of automatically claiming rewards, people should be actively engaged in a conversation or in a network so that they can claim their reward. So I think this will open up also a lot of possibilities in future. You can know that if the activity of the account, and you can it solves some number of scalability issues also. So we also added that support on eSteem Mobile, and there are a number of other improvements performance-wise and bug fixes, and we are already working on the next version, which will come in a couple days, which will have a new changes like slight changes on a design, and we also have a few bug fixes where users reported, and they also asked few changes. So we constantly improving and implementing new features. And I think that's all for today for eSteem mobile app. And there is some changes on the desktop app, but I think it can wait for the next Hangout. Until then, there is a plan where I'm thinking to make a sneak preview of the eSteem desktop app, which I hope will surprise you in a lot of ways. So, and you can also see where the project is moving and how it's going to evolve, and what are the long-term plans from that sneak preview. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Well, thank you very much. First off, Good Karma, you are one of the people who I see. I can't stress enough how much work I see you doing on a consistent basis. There's a group of people in every community that will stun you, and you're one of them. So thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
With that said, before I go into any questions or other comments, does anybody else have anything? I'll leave a moment of silence. Feel free to speak up. I always have questions, so I'll just shut up and let you guys speak up.
Okay, one of the things that I've been wondering about that related to eSteem, but it's also one of the things that I get nervous about is when I have to private. Now, I know I could probably just sync my post, but some other I might have to. I think the way Facebook got away gives APIs to app developers, but you author yourself with the Prime first, and then your login ID goes to the app developer, not your actual login. So the app developer serves as much as you can, but he never actually knows the password at that. eSteem can't work that way because I don't think it has a token or something so that you log in and authorize this. I think that at some point that's going to have to graduate to that level. And wanted to bring on, no, there's something that eSteem foresees as a flaw of building app. Or private keys have to get the app.
Thank you for question. And I wanted to clarify some point. Your password never leaves your device, and it's not using Steemit. It's using Steem blockchain. So Steem was designed so that it is standalone application which uses any WebSocket you want. So if you have a app, you can go to the settings page and you can change WebSocket address to any address you want, be it steemit.com WebSocket or be it your own server socket. So once you change that, and you can send the transaction, you can only send transaction to that WebSocket so that all the network knows about it. But eSteem only uses your password to generate transaction on your local device. So it never leaves your device, and it always stays on your device. So in a way, it's designed to work as a standalone without depending in any server. So, for example, steemit.com or busy.org, they rely on a domain name and a backend server, but eSteem doesn't do it. eSteem is in a way, it's working as a standalone application. In a desktop application also, we have released the first version where you can download and you can change the WebSocket from settings page, and you can keep using it. And in desktop version also, your key doesn't leave your device. So in the future, but there is a plan on Steemit roadmap. They plan to make a Steam Connect where it works similar way like you described, like Facebook, and it generates API key and so on. So, but it's I think in next quarter they plan to release that, and they're working on it. But for now, eSteem took approach to not rely on any server and not have a backend, only do local transaction signing and casting the transaction to any server user chooses. In a desktop app, you will see next week when I post a sneak preview, the user flow will change very different than the first version, where you can directly connect to your local running node from desktop app. In a way, it will be the light client, and you can just connect a node. So, but yeah, that's what is coming with the eSteem desktop. I hope it answers or clarifies some points.
That totally answered my question. And I should almost give a disclaimer that I do good karma. Just something that I think a lot of people about it, myself, give a perfect X for that. That was.
Yeah, thank you. I think it was a good point to bring it up, because right now we will start to see many applications, and we need to be careful about our private keys and to know how application is using your private key. Usually, some applications, some new applications I saw recently, they send your private key to their server and do the transaction on their server side. But yeah, you need to be careful about that kind of projects. And the eSteem mobile app, it's available. It's open source. You can go check GitHub eSteem app, and you can check out the source code, and everything is available there. And you can generate your mobile app locally if you have experience with some development or some technical skills.
I'd like to thank you for.
Thank you.
So just a quick exclamation point if we're looking at a For Dummies book or a light bulb, however you want to call it. I believe it's the exclamation point. This would basically just really boil down to, and it's a very important discussion that I think that we have regularly, which is who controls the keys in your account. Now in Steam, as long as you have, it's just your posting key and your vote, your lowest level key, nobody can access your funds. They can cause mischief and upset a lot of people who might otherwise, not want you to misrepresent them. To want you to be misrepresented to them. But with that said, I'll just leave it at this. eSteem lets you hold your keys locally. That is the best for a newbie. That is the best route, as opposed to, or the most preferable route, as opposed to letting some other service control those keys. So thank you very much for bringing it up, IntelliGuy. It's a very important discussion. Thank you very much for explaining everything a little bit more in depth for those who don't understand necessarily good karma. You being a guru in this stuff kind of helps people to understand it a little bit more. So with that said, does anybody else have any questions or comments? Well, I'll say this, as far as the beneficiaries, I think it's a great idea. I think that we need to consider reaching out to the people who are going to be making those decisions and Steemit as a community or a group of people. Maybe we could all make posts or something about it. I believe that you're 100% correct that beneficiaries where you can get a cut based on how much people use Steam or how many people join Steam. those types of schemes or structures, constructs maybe is the best word for them, provide an incentive for developers like you, and you're on the ground, Good Karma. So I think that as a developer, you're probably in a good place, and you're a trusted person. You've done a lot of what you've done for free. You've never asked for anything other than upvotes, so you don't even ask for upvotes. Oftentimes you tell me to look at something and I don't need to upvote for it. But where do you think, as far as what would you like to see for you, or what about your experience has made you feel like the beneficiaries is something that we need to implement?
Well, I think from the start, when we started to see a number of applications building on top of Steam, if we want to promote Steam as a blockchain, we need to show people that anyone can build on top of it. Anyone can build up on top of it. So people building already using Steam data as a like analysis data or statistics data, or showing some personalization data. And when it comes to the interacting with blockchain or submitting transaction to blockchain, then applications need to be very careful about security, and ultimately they're holding the identity of the user if they compromise the private key in any way. So they should be careful about that. And beneficiaries are important to incentivize more applications on top of it, so that applications can sustain for the long term and have in itself a revenue model and build business around it. And yeah, that's kind of my take on beneficiaries. And I think right now Steemit.com has had early kind of investment because of the earlier mining, and in the long run I think they will also have beneficiaries, because ultimately you want project to continue to evolve and innovate more and more.
Yeah, well, I will say that I greatly appreciate you joining up today. There's a lot more that I could go into and ask, but I think we're getting to the end of your segment already. These are relatively short segments, but you're welcome to join up anytime, everybody. I just want to very much say thank you, Good Karma. How do people contact you if they want to volunteer, if they want to help? And let's go from there.
You can contact me if you have any feedbacks, or if you find any issues or want to suggest some features on app. You can check us on GitHub, or you can contact directly by email info@eSteem.ws, and you can also check website eSteem.ws, which will get updated soon with the latest changes. But you can always find our contacts from that page.
Well, thank you very much. And how you mentioned the GitHub. What account on GitHub would they need to follow?
On GitHub, you can basically search eSteem app, or you can do github.com/eSteem app without any spaces. It's eSteem app organization, and inside we have all the source code for Steem related applications and eSteem related source codes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And
thank you, everyone.
And I'll go ahead and I'll say again, thank you to those of you who are attending today. Make sure, if you have individuals who are interested in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and disruptive technology in general, to join these Hangouts live or listen to them after the fact. If you know people that you trust who are doing really cool things in the space, and you think that they deserve to get a little bit of credit, or that their ideas should be heard, feel free to let them RSVP, to let them know about this option. And with that said, we're going to move on to Virtual Growth. Virtual Growth is joining us to give some updates. He's got the Virgrow asset, but there's a lot of things that are going on in that space that he works in. So I'll go ahead and I'll say, Virtual Growth, are you there to cover that space?
Yes, I am.
All right, well then I'm going to go ahead and I'll step back and I'll let you move forward with your agenda.
Thank you very much. Agenda is all sorts of stuff. I'm a little behind this morning. I woke up with my ears ringing, as I do sometimes, so there will be a post is a post of some stuff, and other things will be posted just to let people know. So it's almost there and in the works. As many people know, I've been working with Viva Coin recently. I was invited to the channels there, and I find myself doing all sorts of things. And I also gave away over 1,000 tokens so far this year on the BitShares platform through my giveaway tokens. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, we have a post that is in a payout of over $37 in value in Steam. So people's tokens, they're going to be getting a little more. I give tokens to about 24 people a day, and we've given away somewhere around 1,300 or 1,400 tokens. That started with Task Manager, who I helped with market making and different ideas, who's evolved into another idea called Biz Portal. So you go to that account and you vote on things that will be given away. And the first one that was given away to Kenny Crane. I don't remember exactly what it is. We can read the post to read about it more. Then the Virgrow itself is a token that I'm giving away to people, and Virgrow earns BitShares and other tokens every time it gives away. I reserve some of it for myself for doing this work, and I reserve some of it for the Virgrow as well. It's going to be a way to collectively invest in people, communities, projects, cryptocurrencies being the major cryptos, and then to issue assets as a collective. I don't know exactly what direction this is going to head into. It's a accumulation of different passions and interests, which is going to be continually morphed into something, as it is going to be listed on TradeQuick Exchange, which is the exchange that's in cooperation with Viva Coin, which is by William Banks, who was unable to make it today. I talked to him this morning. He had to get in sleep. He's a very busy man doing all sorts of stuff. But their ICO is on May 1st. People want to check it out. I will share links to that before the end of this Hangout. He wanted me to tell everyone that he's here in spirit, as he very much is so in his Viva Coin community. He's working on a BitShares gateway, so we will be able to. And so far we have X-Wing. X-Wing is listed on TradeQuick already and is tradable, so that is available at about 0.2727 Viva. Viva Coin is worth about $5.50 currently, so it works out to that. And the X-Wing is worth about $1.50. Then that corresponds to 1% of a wing change, which is the token that people are more familiar with. It's worth 150. Originally, I was going to do the wing cents to reinvest share value, but I'm thinking we're going to keep it at a constant value and then do dividends or share drop that actual token to increase people's holdings. I'm not exactly sure what people are most interested in, so we'll look for feedback on that. There is a logo sort of thing. You can see it in some of Mr. Wang's posts. Also with Steam Factory, Steam Trail, who I've helped with consulting with some, especially with Pear Mike and Steam Factory. Him and others have paid me for consultation, and during this I've gained hundreds of dollars in various crypto, Dash, Ethereum, things of that nature. Steam Factory tokens. Task Manager token. Task Manager gave me 100 tokens to help with giving them away in promotion, so I mention these things in cross-coordinate efforts with each other. Also, just to honorable mention is Raymond Johnstone, who works with the Steam Stars game. He has asked me to help with that and giving them away. He has given me a bunch of tokens that I can give away. If anybody is interested in reading about that and investing in it, he is looking for investors to further his development. I did a post with some summarize that as well on Steemit, which people can find at steemit.com and Virtual Growth. If anybody is interested in being an investor and wants to talk to me about it, I could possibly give you a discount, and we can also work in different crypto. It is on the Counterparty Exchange, so it is available for Counterparty. If you want it for other assets, I'll be happy to brokerage that, escrow or whatever. That token is called Steam Stars, and it is on the Counterparty Exchange currently. We will have a BitShares equivalent for that in the future. It's a matter of raising funds to pay for that, and when the time is right. He is talking to people and asked me to give away tokens. So if anybody wants a token for Steam Stars, you can get me a counterparty address, which can be supplied to me through messaging. As far as sent to Gmail, you can find me on Discord, or you can find me on steemit.chat. And I'm going to stop for a moment if anybody has any questions, feedback, concerns, anything else, and then I'll continue again. The silence is strong. People must be absorbing information. That's fine. Also, we created a Viva coin asset has been created as a user-issued asset on the BitShares exchange, and that will be exchangeable for Viva. How that exactly is going to work and everything else, details will be worked out, and that market will be available as an extension of their ICO, which is happening on TradeQuick exchange next week. So we might do a part of that ICO on the BitShares network as well. So this will benefit BitShares users and other cryptocurrency spaces. The thing is that it is at a certain dollar value to be stable. It's a stable cryptocurrency. It also is in the direction of basic income. They have other assets which I'm learning about. And also, just to mention, I've become a crown holder. They gave me a crown to helping them out in many different things, along with numerous other people in the Steamer community, which a handful of them are from the Steam Prentice group, who also hangs out in the Steam It Talk podcast, which Raymond Johnstone is another one person that's over there, and William Banks. They both talked over there, and some of them have talked on the Beyond Bitcoin as well. So we have all sorts of communities meshing together. And yes, Mr. Wang, you hang out there as well. A whole bunch of us. And I might mention the honorable mention of Gonzo, or Oznog. He's like a famous person. We just think his name is funny and stuff. But in all good fun. Says we're all here to have fun, learn about crypto, and ways to exchange value with each other. And people understand that's part of my philosophy. I love the changing of value and exchange. And that's part of William Banks' philosophy and why I was attracted to Viva Coin as well. So I've been talking to them a lot, and it's very interesting and exciting as well. And I'll pause again and see if there's silence or if people has questions. And Mr. Wang was also crowned. He made a post about it. Task Manager was crowned. He made a post about it, along with numerous other people. And some other crown holders include Kusu, who was the person I worked with. We played on in Steam It team chess. The winners were awarded Steam. So that was kind of the interaction with the blockchain. That was interesting and fun. And anybody questions, feedback? Go ahead now.
I really like the video platform. They have a really unique way to go around with their thing, because usually when people go for an eco, they have nothing but a white paper, if that. And from what I saw, William Banks and the team that we gathered in Steam, they started with creating different businesses and getting the existing businesses to that platform. So it's not really a question, but I really like what they're doing. Also, the economic system there is really, really elegant, and looks a lot like what is in BitShares, but more sophisticated.
Yeah, it's definitely more sophisticated in its own way. Just to mention, they do work with businesses already. They have 2 operating ATM machines in Mexico, in Baja already. So it's working with people, and that's part of their premises, is working with people. And they're looking to work with businesses who can be crown holders and part of their system. And they also have another part of the asset system that's can be used for retirement. It'll gain value over time from the fees of the network and the exchange. Lots of us are all learning about all these new ideas and stuff, but they're pretty interesting.
I like
and thanks for that feedback.
I like how you say virtual growth in its own way, because they are very different animals in a lot of ways. BitShares has quite a different mechanism, but it's not quite a different. It's a different mechanism, but in some ways, it's more like a prediction market, essentially, is how I see BitShares, which is cool, because prediction markets are cool. So there's it's hard, because I don't like to say more sophisticated, though it is very. I love the idea and I love the concept, and I'm interested in seeing it move forward. I will definitely not disagree with that.
Yeah, both communities and projects have their pluses, minuses, abilities, and everything else as we're learning, but they're definitely both great uses and applications to people. I think that's the big thing about BitShares and Steem. It is valuing people through the tokens and what they do. And by doing things with what you can, you actually earn the cryptocurrency, which is an amazing concept. And somebody asked if it would be appropriate to mention Polynex still doesn't allow deposits and withdrawals of Bitcoin, and ask people to email them or express their concerns to re-enable the feature. So I thought I'd just throw that out there. And a Gridcoin supporter.
Well, just to really quick, you stated Bitcoin. That is actually, he stated here Gridcoin.
All right, Gridcoin, sorry.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure to clarify for those who are here or those who are listening. And if you have connections with Polo, to those of the 1,700 listens that we got last week, if anybody who's listening to this has connections in Poloniex, please consider reaching out about that. And thank you for bringing that up as well, Custom Miner. Sorry about that, VG.
That's no problem. That's a good thing. You know me. If it's about the community important, go for it. That's another reason why to use BitShares. You can use your Gridcoin, withdraw it, and deposit it through the open ledger asset, and you don't have to worry about these things, which is a good plus. Otherwise, Steam Factory was the other thing I wanted to mention. It was started by Peer Mike, who consulted with me and actually paid me for consulting him, helping him set up the asset with the ideas of how it will work and whatnot. So when you interact with the Steam Factory account on Steemit, when you vote and comment, you earn Steam Factory tokens, and those tokens will be part of a mining operation, which he does. And what he's doing is donating his cryptocurrencies that are earned from his mining gear to that token. So it's a way to give back to the community. And it's a very interesting project for people who would like to support it and check it out. Over time, he would like to potentially offer other services, kind of like Task Manager. He's thinking of doing a wrap for an Amazon card if people are interested, and giving a 50% discount on that card. Otherwise, I think I've pretty much gone through what I was going to go through. I was also going to mention Task Manager is up to 164 holders. Chaircoin is up to 220 holders, and Wing Change is up to some, and Virgrow I think is close to 100. I was in the process of looking up all these details. I'm a little behind this morning, but I will have a post with all further details if people want to check it out. And the giveaways, matter of people want to let me know what tokens they want given away and whatnot. That's been pretty successful. And it's also getting new users involved with BitShares and Steemit. It's kind of crossed the two as well. New users will learn it. It's a way for people to get free tokens and try out BitShares and try out an exchange. A lot of people are familiar with these things. They're just kind of getting into the Steemit because of blogging to share what they do with their talents and earning a cryptocurrency for it, which is an amazing concept. Now it's a matter of, well, how do I use this cryptocurrency? How can I exchange it with other people? Which brings me to another point of Steam gigs, which was brought up by the name of Surpassing Google, who I talk to once in a while, who's reached out to me. So he helped me to work with a group of his. And I've done a post for that. And when I did a post for Steam Gigs, it came up #1 for Steam Gigs on a couple search engines like Google and Bling. It's interesting because it's a new term. We can use terms like that. And as a way to utilize the Steam and Steam-backed dollars, because when you use it, that's going to have more value and utility. And that's another thing that William Banks talks about, this Viva currency as well. With all these cryptocurrencies, the true value is in the use of them and our ability to exchange them, which continually shares value with each other, and it all grows together into these crypto space economic systems and echo spaces, and however we want to look at it. And I'll pause again if anybody wants to say anything, and I'll finish things up soon.
Well, actually, we're about 15 minutes, so yeah, let's open it up for a final question, comment, and then we can go ahead and move into your closing it.
Sounds good. Okay, I'll just share my contact information. You can find me as Virtual Growth on Discord, Steemit.chat, and now Viva Chat, because I spend a lot of time over there. And we're also going to have a chat room there called UIA. So it's going to be about user-issued assets. And if people over there are looking for help with BitShares, and if also BitShares people that are interested in Viva, we can talk there. That's a channel for us to collaborate with each other. And of course, there's a general chat area, which is open for pretty much everything. And that's it for me today, and thank you very much to everyone. I look forward to working with numerous people and projects continuously for ways to explore value and share value with each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Virtual Growth. And thank you to everybody who joins these Hangouts and participates in the community of thinkers and doers in the crypto space. We really appreciate the individuals who who joined this community, who participate in this community, who actively drive us forward into the future. And those who are transparent about it, like all those guest speakers who join here, you really bring unquestionable value to the space.
Tell a guy, were you going to say something?
Well, I'm on the list. He talks.
No, we're good, man. Purity is going to be up next, I believe, unless you got some last, or is it, let's see here. Things can change in the last hour. Let me look. Just an update. I'm going to add to the Hangout RSVP thread to make sure to have them in your RSVPs posted 24 hours prior to the Hangout, just to let everybody know. And that will be the best route for us to go. Yeah, there was a tie. I guess we could maybe do a rolling of the dice, but I just chose Purity first and then IntelliGaia afterwards. Is that okay with you? Okay, at the time, that's the order that I had it in, actually, within the thread, which was literally this morning that I double checked. So if there are any changes for those of you guys who are here to the votes after the fact, during the Hangout, or maybe even up to an hour or two before, if those votes change from that point in time, I cannot guarantee that you will have the spot that you've been given. I just want to make it clear to everybody who's listening and those who are here that the way that I look at it is that I look at the thread, and the thread has the highest rewarded post first, and it moves down the list based on whatever determinations the site uses. That's what I use. So it's nothing personal. It is literally nothing that, if there's a tie and the site has one before the other, that's the way I go with. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's move on to Purity. Who's here today to talk about Purity? Is it going to be Crypto Hippie? I see those beautiful red lips, but I don't hear anything. Does anybody else hear anything?
Nope.
Hey, Crypto Hippie, why don't we go ahead?
Yep.
Okay, you got it set up? Yeah, I did too. We heard you for a second there, Crypto Hippie. If you need some time to set it up, I mean, this is the perfect time. We could let IntelliGuy go first if that's what you'd prefer. Yeah,
There were red lips, but no sound coming from the red lips that time. No red lips at all now.
This is the perfect time just to let everybody know, if you're going to be a speaker, it is very helpful for you to make sure that you have a mic that works when it's set up, and to make sure that you just test it before the Hangouts. This makes it easier for you as an individual to even be able to cut out your segment of the Hangout and send it around and have it sounding professional and a highest quality as it possibly can be.
Push-to-talk setup is always a good idea as well.
Push-to-talk setup is absolutely necessary. Great point.
So can you guys hear me?
We can now.
That's so weird because I can't hear you guys. And let IntelliGuy go first, and I'll be back on here in a sec.
You ready to go, IntelliGuy?
I think now IntelliGuy's having problems.
Yeah, you're not.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Coughing, just so it shows in the waveform where I need to cut.
Okay, I wanted to talk briefly about what I call CoinRep rank, which is something that came to my mind when looking at CoinMarketCap. It's no secret that a lot of people look at CoinMarketCap.com as show them which trends are most popular, which ones are doing better than others, which ones have the highest. It's like at a glance, and almost any newbie that comes. Am I still transmitting?
Yep, you're fine.
And then any newbie that comes in gets shown CoinMarketCap by their friends and says, look at this coin that I told you about. Look how it's doing here on the chart and all that. The problem is that there's a lot of scam coins that are actually part of CoinMarketCap as well. And a scam coin has a better chance of being listed on CoinMarketCap than they do, larger legitimate like stuff like that, which is bizarre. But you'd think that you'd have to, I think, yourself. But CoinMarketCap doesn't its own decision on what coin's getting listed or not, it basically lists all of them, right? And they're all listed there somewhere. There's about 700 of them. So I thought, there's a lot of newbies entering this space. And for instance, I was reading something on Steemit where somebody says, I joined Cryptocurrency December 2000. They're pushing Dash, for instance, and said, my friend told me to buy Dash. I'm buying Dash. And one day I'm going to run a Dash master, even though I don't know what a master node is or how they work. And that struck me funny because I'm like, okay, you're investing in a coin, but you don't even know what a master node is. And yet you dedicated yourself that you want to run one. Before money starts changing hands, it helped me, but I didn't tell them that. But then I started looking at all the different coins there, and for instance, Peercoin is way down in the list, even though it gave birth to about 300 or 400 other proof of stake coins. And one of the reasons why Peercoin is so way down in the list is it doesn't do very well because it only has 24 million coins, and there's other coins out there with like 600 billion coins. And it's not plausible that if they were to liquidate all 6 billion coins on it, that it would hold its price on the way down as there was a fire like that. So it's quite easily capable, especially for pre-mined coins, which are only denoted by an S, to actually pump themselves artificially on CoinMarketCap. And I wrote a post about that on my blog, where if you have a huge pre-mine, you can basically buy and sell to yourself and then just exchange for the different transactions from your own bot. You can actually artificially pump a price when you have majority of coins nobody else does. But then I started going a little deeper than that. I started, well, what about these coins that have named? A lot of people don't know that Dash was called Dark Coin. And I'm not, it sounds like I'm complaining about Dash. I don't know enough about Dash to do that. But I do know that in the old days, you used to see a coin talked about on Bitcoin Talk. And the longer the thread, usually the more legitimate the coin was because it was there that long enough to have such thread and that much. But what would happen is that scam coins would kill that thread, they'd lock it, and then they'd start a new thread, or they would start a new thread with a new coin name, calling it Virgrow or Plus or something else. And it's quite easy for scam coins to get lost in the shuffle if you have to go, well, let me go find out the history of this coin. I got to go read 600 posts written in 2004 all the way through 2007 to be able to understand whether or not this is a good coin. Most people don't have time for that. What they do is they just look what everybody else is buying on CoinMarketCap and, whatever people are promoting.
Well,
So I
not
wrote a nice
necessarily.
blog.
IntelliGuy, not. I hate to interrupt, but not necessarily what people are buying on CoinMarketCap, but what people, like you said, are maybe buying and selling between two different accounts just to pump the price up artificially.
True. So I went into a little bit more detail. It's hard for me to get so much out that I want to mess up some of my words. So the best way of knowing what I'm saying is to read my blog on at IntelliGuy. But one of the things that happened is that somebody said, his name was Phil Anderson, and he said, first of all, this is a terrible idea. You cannot have a CoinRep of some sort, because that's a centralized data for people need to, get their info their own way. And if you do a centralized rep, then that's going to be a problem. So I thought, okay, where's this coming from? So I went and did some research on Kyle Anderson, which led me to something he wrote 3 months ago on his blog about Burst Coin and Bullberry. And he felt it necessary to put out a public alert that he didn't like Burst Coin and he didn't like Bullberry for various reasons, and he illustrated what they were. That's all fine, and that's what a lot of people do. What got interesting was the comment section of his post 3 months ago. His title is Burst My Bubble, on the two coins. Right in the middle of it, Craig Grant says, Bullberry was a fast profit for me. If I never see Bullberry or Pascal coin again, it won't matter, as it took less than a week for me to earn profit trading and promoting them with me. Crypto is a very small space, and those involved often talk about changing the world like it's a religion. I'm not religious about crypto, but I can pretend like I am to take advantage of those who are. And Kyle Anderson, ironically, agrees in the way that he said, there are reasons feel, yeah, I know, that kind of sick from Craig Grant. He pretends like he did and he pumps coins, is that to take advantage of those that follow him. So Kyle Anderson said, there are reasons why people feel so strongly about crypto. And you are certainly right saying the scene is small and undervalued. My point here is that speculating wildly on projects and assets, flawed fundamentals, is only harming those projects with sound. But then again, you made it clear you enjoy your day trading in assets, and by all make your money. Now, we were just talking about BitShares prior to this thing, about how to market BitShares. I'm talking about PeerCoin, how it's getting dropped down the list. I don't like it that somebody that just joins crypto December 2006 comes to a place, scam coins all over the place. And it was even just today, I re-steamed a blog post where somebody's posting going, I can't believe that Bata coin is actually showing up with a huge spike today on CoinMarketCap, and they're actually doing really well. Meanwhile, their Windows wallet is infected with a coin stealer virus that actually is in the binary that takes your Bitcoin's wallet and transmits it to a particular IP address. So I'm like, this is all coming about. What's that?
I want to cry. This is so sad to me, man. Continue, but this is.
I want to interject something here. I read your blog, IntelliGuy, and I thought it was an interesting idea. But I guess it does come down to the criteria that you use to establish this reputation system, because I do understand the fears that a centralized source of reputation could be a bad thing. But how do these standards get established? What is a good element and what is not? Some of the things you listed in your blog post were good, that are very objective and can be measured without too much difficulty, but others are more subjective. So how are you going to establish the criteria that would factor into a reputation award level?
Well, at this stage, this is nothing more than an idea or a fart in the wind, just so that everybody can get the idea that something like this is eventually going to have to come to pass. And the ones that are going to hate it the most are anybody that develops hollow technology. Hollow technology, where the coin promotes itself, markets itself well. It sounds like all the goods and stuff, but it certainly is not scalable or will never work, and it gets abandoned once everybody starts buying. How many coins start getting, like, PeerPlays is a prime example. They do really well, and they have every raise funds in advance. They haven't stopped with their efforts or any. They're unlike most coins. Most coins will and do a pre-announce and a roadmap, and they just never get to anywhere, or they get halfway there and then they just dump it and run with whatever money managed to accumulate on them. So we're going to have to clean up our act on this space, and the only way we can do that is not stopping all the new people that come to crypto into the fire for our own benefit, because all we're ending up doing is that we're killing it. We're killing good projects by doing that. We're killing good money investment. Go ahead.
I hate to interrupt you on this, but I just you come here with such salient points that hit me in the heart. To be honest with you, because I think it's apparent what the philosophy here is, right? So I just want to thank you for coming here and bringing this stuff up, because it's very difficult in this space to be surrounded by sharks, because there are a lot of people who just think for today. How can I go to this nice dinner and pay $500 and I'll take a bunch of pictures of myself and my life. Those types of things, like this building up of celebrity and using it to harm others and to make others believe something that they might otherwise not believe, and take risks that are dangerous to them that they might otherwise not take. These things are things that are very important. The big thing for me, though, is, and kind of like what Thomas was saying, is because you wrote a blog about this, we have to take steps to move forward with this, right? So why don't you, really quick, for those who are listening, drill into the core idea of the reputation, and let's go from there, because I think that maybe somebody who's listening for the first time might not be aware that that's what you're talking about so much.
Fair enough. I figured that if, we have credit, I hate, but anyway, they have that so that when you go into Taylor and get a credit, they look at your credit score as a number and go, well, obviously this guy's not doing well, so chance of me trusting, you have to credit, and your credit score follows. A coin's credit score should go up and down depending on what it does, how it reacts, how many, or how many developers have abandoned, or how scalable it is. People are running around going, somebody asked me about Pinkcoin. They're going, how's Pinkcoin? I'm like, well, Bitcoin's only up to 400,000 blocks since 2009, 2000. Pinkcoin's up to 0.4 million blocks because they're doing 30-second block. I said 30-second block times is great in situations, certainly not for the new launch of a coin. They could have launched at 10-minute block spacing and lowered it 3 seconds when necessary, but they did that, obviously, a lot of coins to a lot of people in the very early stage. There's different coin indicators. Which ones are the most important? That is going to be a never-ending debate. However, it should start somewhere so that when a coin goes sour, it gets a red thing like a Google page rank. The little green bar becomes more of a red bar, and they don't get listed on their coin market cap based on that. One of the indicators on the listing, the top listing, would be longevity of the coin or different things. I don't know. All I want to do is I want to open this up because every legitimate project out there is fighting with every scam project there, and that's why BitShares is as low on the list as it is, or PureCoin is on the low as low as.
I think Fuzzy's got a good point about the CoinGecko thing. I just was looking at the CoinGecko, and they do have some very objective measurements there. But if you look at the rankings, it doesn't look like they're working out too good. There might not be enough metrics to gauge that. But the concept that you're talking about of having a reputation system of cryptos is envisioned is what the CoinGecko thing is all about, and I'm sure there's probably others out there. Have you done any research, IntelliGuy, about others that might offer that type of rating system out there?
I'm trying to think of one that hoarding market, because right now, click on a coin on CoinMarketCap. They give you a list of the announced thread. You click on the announced thread. Usually it's an out thread that says, note, the new announced thread is now. They probably could have a coin rating that, I don't know. I want to leave the rest of my time for everybody else to go back and forth, bring this up, or I just wanted to, and I will read more about that other. There's got to be a way to.
Well, I will say this. From everything that I saw and that I've heard you talking about today, everything that I've thought from the beginning of this was CoinGecko, and they were actually here in a Hangout a while, like not very long after they launched. And the way that they do it, like Thomas said, they have different ways of measuring things like they look at the GitHub repo to see like the amount of development that's going on. Is it very active, in development? There's a lot of different categories that you can kind of sift through. Now the algorithms, they even said back when they first launched that they were planning on improving the algorithms over time and things like that. Now somebody's here saying in the chat, it's Custom Miner, said that they haven't really updated that since launch. So I'd be interested to see what they say. Maybe I can reach out to them and connect up, or maybe all of us could try to connect up with them and see, because that would be a good start, because they already have a lot of really good ideas. I would urge you to look at it, because it feels like it's like 10 steps closer to where you're trying to go anyway. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Why reinvent the wheel when we've got somebody that's focused on that problem?
And malleable.
And I think that's absolutely. And if those objective measurements can be solidified and weeded and have the subjective measurements weeded out, or having another area of that rating system to be, here's the subjective measurements, this is more or less opinions, here is the objective things that are factual based that you can check out and very historical of what the project's been doing and is doing now. I think that would be a very useful thing to have, and a lot of this, like this CoinGecko thing, is already built along those lines.
Do they do scores at a?
Yeah, there's right on the very front page is a overall ranking of what that coin is ranked at according to them. BitShares is 58, and Bitcoin is 97, and Ethereum is 70 or 80 or something. Whatever, it's all right there on the front page.
Good. I'm going to start getting those. We need to make something on everybody's.
I would like to point out the other link that I placed in the chat with the Cyberfont /rating. They wrote a white paper on evaluation of crypto coins, and they have this rating that uses those metrics that they think. And if you click on the last column that says rating, and it lists all the coins based on the synthetic rating thing, and you'll see that BitShares is in top 3, right behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, as it should be.
As it, well,
That's
yeah,
exactly what I was. That's something I'd love to.
Your mic just went south a bit there, Teleguy.
well, I hate to close this segment off because obviously this is a topic that is another topic that is interesting to everybody here. But we do have to move on because there is another project that is going to be talking today. However, IntelliGuide, do you have anything before we do that that you would like to cap everything off with here?
Just check me out on Steam at IntelliGuy, ILLIGUI. One of my disappointments is I get 100 upvotes, and then I look at the little eyeball, and I know but I'll get 100 upvotes from bots, and then 20 people read which is frustrating because I come up with a lot of good material that at least touches on the thing of a subject, and I'm really interested in feedback and more comments.
It'll happen over time, IntelliGuy. It's just like, to be completely honest, for quite some time we were much smaller than we are today, and we just seem to, it's hard. A lot of people don't realize that getting a following that like really reads everything, it takes time. It just takes time to grow that army, buddy. But I will say thank you for everything you do.
Keep posting.
I'm sad. Yeah, of course. And I don't think IntelliGuy is going anywhere. But I'm kind of sad that your research brought us to this place with Craig Grant. I used to upvote him all the time, man, and I'd see his cute little baby. Be like, yeah, let's upvote him eating chicken, I would upvote him a little bit to help with the cryptocurrency area. Sometimes I'd even upvote his wife just to help her out, but at the same time, it kind of concerns me and bothers me that people would, in this space, I feel like if we grow the trust and we have places where people realize they can trust, that the people have good intentions and aren't just there to take their money, that we build real value over time. And that's like, that's an oak. That's an oak tree. As opposed to just, building a bunch of really soft wood that grows quickly, but you cut it down and it doesn't last very long.
Well, I've just made an enemy. Sure, he probably didn't expect words to be read on air, and he wasn't going to make a video or a blog post about it. But I did find his comment. He did say it on some obscure post that he thought nobody would ever read. But you know what? He said it, and I totally think that he was being honest at that point.
Well, I remember him talking about Burst Coin. I remember all the things that you're talking about, and I've been watching Burst Coin go down, down, down in price. And I can see, some of us, how it is. When we've been here for a long time, we know what it looks like when something's getting pumped. And we know when something's gotten dumped and is going to die afterwards. And it looks like Burst is there. It might be pumped again. It might be pumped several more times, but I consider it a dead project as far as unless somebody else comes in and starts really picking up on development of it and moving forward with it. Other than that, I've just been I see how it all connects. I will say that. I always kind of had it in the back of my mind, maybe there was something going on there, but you kind of really put a nail in there. I won't say it's the final nail, but it's one that really is concerning. With that said, I guess let's reach out to CoinGecko. If you're interested, maybe we can talk to them.
Thank you.
Thank you for having a voice and being willing to use it. We need more of them. In the absence of your voices come leaders who oftentimes are not there for you. So we want to keep in that philosophy. And I want to just, we want it to be volunteer that you care about our community and that you try to promote us and try to let everybody know that we exist. So we will continue to be able to drive forward with the opportunities that we can offer here. And thank you for everybody here. Thank you, IntelliGuy. Thank you to the guests and the audience and those who are listening. Make sure to share this with those who you care about and who you think would like to change the world and help change the world. Some of us in crypto do care about that. Now, with that said, we're going to be looking at talking to Crypto Hippie a little bit today. He's planning to provide some updates, and he's got an agenda for today to talk about the Peerity project that he's working on. Do you have everything straightened out, Crypto?
I believe so. Am I coming through?
Sounding sweet like honeydew.
I like it. Oh, you're rapping there. Yeah, so Purity, in case you guys didn't catch the last time I was here, Purity is it's a activity network that is going to reward human interaction online, both and offline. So we're doing that, and we do that in 4 ways. There's you can crowdfund on it and sell stuff, e-commerce, so like set up your own store. You can blog, just kind of like Steam it, and you can also you got me?
Yeah, you cut out
Are you
there
there?
for a second.
All right. Sorry. And then you can also have you can host gatherings, basically similar to a meetup group, and get rewarded for that. And so, anyways, I guess what I'm here to update everybody on is that our testnet will be running. Well, it is running right now. We're not releasing it to the public to try out yet, but possibly next week is what we're shooting for, to have that out, so you guys can get on there and run a node and check it out, see, to help us try to break it, and and then we can start making it more resistant to being broken. But yeah, and then the other thing is we're gonna be at Blockchain Expo in Berlin. What are the dates on that? June 1st and 2nd. So if anybody's out there, come stop by and say hi. We'll be speaking and also have yeah, so did anybody have any questions about anything? Oh, we're also hosting a Hangout too, by the way. And that is going to be at, we're doing it Wednesday. I'm in Cambodia, so Wednesday would be Tuesday for everybody in America, and we're doing it at 5 a.m. It's the house, we call it the House of the Rising Sun, because we do it at sunrise.
What time zone is that?
Indochina, I believe we are plus. Yeah, it's, what time is it there right now where you are? It's 10:51 here.
Well, we normally do it in UTC now.
Yeah.
My time in Central, it is currently 10:51 a.m.
Okay, so we're exactly 12 hours. I don't know what time this is UTC, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, that's when we're doing it. I'll post the link to the Discord if anybody wants to join up. We're basically just talking about all crypto news and what's going on with our project and what's going on with other projects, if people have stuff that they want to come on and talk about as well. So really like to get some of this community in there, if you guys would like to join. So that's all I have for you guys today. But yeah, I hope to be back here next week with a detailed description of how you can get on and run a node on our testnet and help us out. Thank you.
Thank you first off for the updates and everything. And I will say, to be clear, I'm glad that you guys. I'm glad. Hold on a second here. I'm glad to hear that you guys are providing the test net here before you start really pushing for the ICO. That is in my opinion, the best way to go to show people that you have something that is real and that you can actually, you can spin up a chain that will actually provide some of these services. Now, with that said, I'll go ahead and I'll say, please feel free, anybody, to speak up, ask any questions. I have questions and comments, but I will obviously summon the silence golem, and I'll let you guys decide what questions and comments you might have before I dip my toes in.
Fuzz, just to get back to what you just said, yeah, we did want to come out with the running testnet and everything before we haven't really even released our white paper to most people yet. So only investors, but we're just gonna come out with all of it at once, and hopefully that's enough proof for people to gain interest in our project.
Well, it's a heck of a step in the right direction. I'll say that.
Yeah, especially with where we've been and where we're coming from, and this whole thing is growing so much. Not just specifically our project, but take a look at what the coin prices are today, and tomorrow what they'll be tomorrow. And yeah, it's exciting times here.
Well, it's exciting, but I also love to make it clear that the projects that show advancement and show that they're working on it and really prove that they're working on it, kind of to the point that IntelliGuy makes. When you put funds in those people's hands and those people can prove that they deserve it, that's a synergy right there waiting to happen. And that's really the key, the essence of economics, in my opinion, is human interaction and finding that perfect synergy. And at the heart of that is trust, right? So if you guys can show that there's something that's working, I'm really happy to hear that. Is there going to be any functionality as far as like a front end or anything?
It will be something very basic. You will have a wallet, and you'll be able to send testnet coins back and forth, and just see that the functions actually work. So yeah, we're planning on that as well. But whether that'll be in the first week or not, I think that'll probably be the second week of everybody publicly running testnet. But yeah, well, being transparent is like something that we saw worked really well for PeerPlays. And they were on here all the time giving updates, and they still are, and they probably will be as long as they're here. So they did it good, very well.
Well, real quick, I just want to make it clear to those who are in this ecosystem who are listening, or those who are new and they're just starting to learn about witnesses and all that stuff in the DPoS and delegated proof of stake ecosystem. This is different from proof of work, proof of stake, and it's slightly different from delegated proof of stake. It's very similar conceptually in a lot of regards, but it is different. So would you like to really quick just boil that down maybe into maybe a minute explanation for people, if they're just as a reminder of what a node in this ecosystem would be, what it would do, how many you plan on having, how they would join and like be part and get one, if you guys have come to those conclusions?
Well, we know that we will never have more than 300 nodes. We know that a node is going to, obviously a node validates blocks similar to a Steemit witness. We are using Tendermint, and that is what I would call not quite proof of stake. But it is in a different sort of way, because you have to the network has to gain 2/3 consensus of the tokens that are.
I would say it's proof of stake. It's just utilized a different way, and that's actually what proof of stake was from the very beginning. It was almost like you had proof of work, and then all of the entire spectrum of proof of stake schemes, or constructs.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so we're gonna have that available, and if when people get on it and run those nodes, they're not necessarily going to be making money. Basically, the network, those nodes have to gain 2/3 consensus amongst the total amount of tokens staked. So validators have to stake tokens, and with our validator comes half of what you're paying for comes in tokens to stake in the beginning. So it's kind of a little bonus. But you got to start with something, you know.
Well, I'll say this: the difference between delegated proof of stake and this are like in terms of the incentive structure. One's more, I guess. Well, maybe it's not more political. You guys are only going to have 300. That actually kind of brings up a different question. But was there a specific
That's within
reason?
10 years too.
Was there a specific reason why? And did you guys have? Because in delegated proof of stake, we tend to try to go with prime numbers for the number of witnesses, because it makes it a lot harder to attack the system and to get majority stake, I believe, is the reason, the 51% attacks and stuff, right? So how do you guys deal with all that, like collusion between witnesses and stuff, or nodes?
Can you hear me?
Yep, perfectly.
All right, sorry. So yeah, Tendermint has tested this out, and they came to 300 because the network was slowed down significantly at that point. And so that's how we've to that number. We're going to only be starting with 30 nodes, and that number of 300 is probably won't happen for 10 years.
Do you guys have like plotted out graduated levels, like at this market cap will open up this many more type of thing?
We're working on that right now, but seeing how many we can offer per year, I could actually send out a graph here. It's going to take me a minute to get it, but yeah, I could send one out after we're done with this.
Something cool that Stratus offers is that you can use one of their nodes. They have different services that those nodes can provide, and based on the service, you have to lock away a certain number of tokens. Some of them will not require locking up much. Some will require locking many more, depending on, I'd assume, multiple factors, but one of which would probably be how much it taxes the network. Have you guys thought about whether the nodes are going to each perform a single function, or if they're going sorry, that's my timer. If they're going to provide just a single service, and you might have multiple kinds, have you guys decided on any of that?
We were gonna have geographically specific. We're calling peer servers actually, but validators is what Tendermint calls them, and we were gonna have some that were geographically specific. So we're placing these things all over the world to prevent wipeout from natural disaster.
Sure.
But if we have 3 of them in LA, it might be less of a reward to run one in LA because that area is already saturated. And so that's kind of what we were thinking with in regards to that. But I don't think that that's going to be the case, and that's part of the reason that our white paper is not public yet. So because we're still working that out and a few other things.
Well, I look forward to the testnet and seeing some. I would really love to see if it's going to be what it's going to be like when you guys are offering any of these front end services. But it's cool to watch you guys doing it. I know that Bren, I think he worked on the NASCAR website, and he has a lot of other big clients, and he's working on this chain too, right? You've got Twan. He's on the team as well. Is that correct?
Crypto hippie.
Oh, sorry. Hippie. Then we have.
You are speaking on Steam speak, not on Mumble.
Excuse me.
Yeah, get your push to talk keys together.
Hello there, Sticken.
Thank you for sticking. Yeah,
that must have been brutal
right next to each other. I'm sorry, Fuzzy. What was the last thing you said?
All I can say is we've had.
Oh yeah, we have Tuan.
Oh,
We
go
have
ahead.
Tuan, and we have Menta, who on Steam it. That's his name. And we have Bren, who's worked at Omnigon, and did the NASCAR sites, does the U.S. Open sites. He's a big AEM guy, and we have a pretty solid team for being as small as we are. We're actually getting a lot done. So it's amazing how much you can get done when there's no weird different things standing in the way.
Well, I look. I won't say anything about that, but I do look forward to seeing how this progresses, and I look forward to working with you guys and continuing to have some input wherever you guys want my opinions and thoughts. You know where to reach me. Feel free to utilize this service at any time. And how do people reach out to you if they would like to talk to you a little bit more about this project? If they would like to ask some more specific questions, maybe a use case that they didn't want to bring up here, or maybe they're just a listener and they would like to, they're moved to want to help with the project in some way, shape, or form. How do they connect up? You're talking over in the other server again.
No, I'm here. So the first way I would say is Peerity-io is like our landing page, and you could sign up for email alerts there. And I've also got a timeline on there that states where we're at and where we plan on being. And you can also email me at crypto-hippie or crypto-hippie at Peerity-io. So, those are and then I'll also put the Discord in the chat after here when I can free up my hands from this push to talk.
If I were you, I would push both of those push to talks at the same time.
I don't want to piss off first again.
You've seen the video, you know what happens.
Oh yeah.
You guys are class acts, man. I'll say this. There are a lot of people who are characters in this ecosystem. So thank you for all of them keeping it real and keeping me entertained along the journey. I know it's a long one, guys, but and we just keep treading it because we're just the outliers, I guess. But it's definitely fun because of all of you.
Yeah, what would a good long movie be without some serious battle scenes and action?
And just plain straight crazy bastards. I'm just gonna plain out say it. Well, anyway, with that said, I think it's safe to say that this hangout is finished. All the guest speakers have spoken. All the listeners and the active attendees have spoken, have texted, have typed, have sometimes made weird sounds in the mumble by pushing their push to talk and doing typing and odd different things in the background. But we have covered a lot today, and I love to see that all of this ecosystem is growing, and I feel blessed that everybody wishes to support all of this and what we've done for so long now. It seems that it's gone pretty quick, but it's been a long time that we've been doing this. So I want to thank all of you. And with that said, we join up every Friday at 2 p.m. UTC on this humble little mumble server that YouTube and no one else can really come in and just tear down our service. Nobody else controls it but us. So feel free to join. Feel free if you want to run your own hangouts to reach out to me, and we can maybe make a room for you to run your own hangouts for your community here, for your cryptocurrency project. With that said, have a good one, guys, and we'll see you next Friday.
you.